the decision that we could show you the visualizer 2 was made yesterday at 11. So therefore I don't have a presentation of the TLC visualizer. Before that it was not possible to show because as you know, we're always thinking of if you release or the information that there is a new instrument, the old instrument won't be sold and things like that. So again, sales has always this trouble. So therefore, we have still the visualizer 1 presentation, but we will see what the differences are. We are always going like that. We give you a short introduction of the instrument, and after that we go into the instrument and see what we hands-on session.
El puntero. The pointer at this?
No. Yeah, that's the empty one.
There.
Oh, yeah. It's like the keys. Yeah, these are always the same topics. There are some slides that are a lot of explanation on it, and it's more that you, if you're at home, you can read through it and you understand it. And so I won't read it from there. And so in this field, we are at the evaluation documentation. So we document, and with vision cuts or with video scan early on, you could also quantify. So there was also an evaluation. By the way, do you know these colors here? The colors are quite bad because of the beam, but maybe also on my other chart. I already closed it, but anyway, on the other chart we had these colors. You have this also on the instruction manual, and you have it also on the catalog. So these are always the same colors. So if you have it on the instrument, there's just sometimes people say, come on, these stupid colors, get rid of them. But I think it's quite good just to differentiate where you are. So it's give you an easy understanding. Yeah, so the visualizer is an image capturing system for TLC and HPTLC plates or flat objects. The thing for that is we have some customers that are taking pictures of other things. And that's, I don't know why they do it this way, but they do it. So they buy a visualizer, they buy Win or Vision Cats, and then they make photos and then they export their photos. One company in Switzerland, they do measure, or they do photos of bullets.
Bullets?
From bullets when they from explosives. How they look after they were shot. So if they shoot a gun, they take the bullet, put it in the visualizer, take a picture. And therefore flat objects more or less. So they have to be some not too high. So it's, I measured it once. I think it's up to 7.5 centimeters. You can say this short. Then you can use 254 or 366 reflection mode, or white light reflected and transmission. You have, it's quite easy. You have illumination light source and selector timer. That's all you can have. You don't have really a display on it. And you have an object viewer opening this flap where you can look in. With the visualizer 2, you will then see the plate in the understanding of most of the people. Then light source fully controlled on the vision cats. So with wing cats, you had to switch on the light. With vision cats now, you just say, okay, I want to make a picture in white light, and the visualizer itself, of course. That's also the reason why, as already spoken, we have an LS232 connection for the instrument, and on the camera with Visualizer 1 it was a firewire. With the Visualizer 2 it is a USB 3 connection.
USB 3.
And with WinCats it was just the firewire. There was no serial connection needed. With VisionCats now we need. So this is the block diagram, this is the camera itself. Then in the center we have this main board which is covering almost everything. Then we have 3 lamp boards which do not hold any parts, just for the lamps. And the lamps, there are 8 lamps, 4 white, 2 366 and 2 254 lamps or tubes in the instrument. There is the panel. The serial port is on this control board. There is a door switch and the power supply and the main entry, which is almost the same or is the same for most of the instruments. So this is really not that complicated. It is quite an easy and simple instrument. It's also mainly one board. There are 2 things that can go defect, more or less. Is the Baum camera and this control board, which we had, I have to admit, quite often in terms of Camag quality. We are checking that regularly, and we are thinking, or we are checking if it is possible to change that. The reason for such things like that is that also here, even the visualizer is one of the newer instruments in Camag terms. It is now 10 years old. It's 2006. So if you build an instrument or if you design an instrument, you take parts that are well known. And so therefore they were at 2006, they were well known. So therefore they are 15 years old now, the parts, and some of the parts had to be replaced. And on replacing parts, you're not always 100% sure if they are completely the same. And therefore, once we had a problem that we changed part, or one supplier changed the definition of a part without telling us that, and then we had a problem. And so that's only one problem that we have, that Camag has such instruments over a very long period. So this is also just that you have a full documentation. It is a picture from underneath. You see these flexible boards here where it is easy to cut your fingers. Be careful. We will see that later on when we open the instrument after lunch. What you see, mainly this is the main board and this is the power supply. We had rare cases where the power supply had a problem. Mostly it was this board here, or as I said, the camera. So this is the
panel control.
Yeah, panel. And here we can have a sort of test or a service mode. The thing is that we don't have a display here, so we have to somehow to show you that there is an error, and we would like to inform you in which direction this error goes. So therefore, we have something like, if there is an error, it will 2 times, we will give a running up here, and then there will be mostly 2 LEDs on, and with these two LEDs it gives you a value, and that value
Comes,
refers them in service manual to a certain error. To enter the service mode, press and hold down both up and down buttons and switch on the visualizer. I have here the complete way how to adjust and things, but these boards, they come always full adjusted, so therefore you never need that. And therefore I leave that open here. It wouldn't go too far to just to show you through this. But if it would be needed for some reason, you could do that. So this is this board. With all the Camag instruments, we have this EEPROM, which is holding all the data like serial number, like settings, specific settings. So if you replace a board, you can do two things. Mainly you will order a new board, order this with a serial number. So here you can say, I have this and this visualizer. Also specify the camera. Maybe the camera changed during time. You never know. And then we burn the EEPROM the same as it was when you bought it. So also with the settings that the new visualizer had.
This board have a battery or no battery? Is it condenser or battery?
This one you think? This one.
Ah, condenser. Condenser.
This condenser, yes.
Ah, okay.
There's just a plus of electrolyte condenser.
Okay, yeah.
There's no. Most of the instruments do not have battery. There are some. They have a small battery in, but we usually, as I said, we have this EEPROM. So this is a fixed memory which is burnt at Camag, and with that we don't need a battery. So you can order it, or what you also can do, you can take out this EEPROM here and put it in the new board. This is working fine, as long as this EEPROM is not defect, but that is really a rare case. Just you have to be aware, with the visualizer it's easy, it is the main board and it's clear, but on other instruments they are different boards, and then on one board this EEPROM is, and if you change this, and if you just change this, if you change it, for instance, with a scanner, and you take all the EEPROM from other instruments, so if you have two instruments and you would like to check, you take the one from the other one, it is working fine. It is displaying you the serial number of the other instrument, but the settings are not the same. Therefore, you will fail on all the tests or so. So you have to take out the EEPROM from the old one and put it in to meet all the tests, because the settings will be completely different. So this is also this service mode, which is not really important. Troubleshooting, I just mentioned here some issues. As I already said, we had this issue at the 2010 around. This was this. There were some changed parts, and therefore we had this problem. This problem is solved, so you won't have this issue. So there is the error message 36. So the LED 10 and infinity is on. The visualizer does not switch off after some minutes of continuous operation or things like that. So this is always this problem here. And then, if the lamps are switching on, but after a couple of seconds they are switched off. Here is the remedy of this. So here you see the parts that you have to change. I don't go into deep detail here. You have it here in written form, and also, but it is now These days it's no longer that important because all these boards they are already exchanged. Here it's on the board the location, but as I said, this is not important. This is maybe very important if you update from WinCats to VisionCats. The visualizer is not properly recognized. He's laughing. He knows this already. So, as I mentioned, this EEPROM holds the data of the instrument, and VisionCats is checking. I have a visualizer and I have a camera, and then it is comparing the camera serial number, which is actually there, with the camera serial number in this EEPROM. Now, there can be two different problems. One problem could be that the visualizer is an old visualizer before 2010, and before 2010 we did not burn the EEPROM with the serial number of the camera because we didn't know that that was needed. From 2010 on, this was made, no problem. And the second one could be if somebody changed the camera for whatever reason. In WinCats, no problem, just new equilinks and it was running. In VisionCats, that was not running. So, are there any questions? We will see on hands-on maybe a little more. But now we go for lunch.